Good morning, everyone. A huge round of applause for Nothing and Levin Labs, two of the most exciting consumer tech and AI companies in the world. Thank you very much, Akis, for flying down all the way from London for our Rising Bharat Summit. Thank you, Siddharth, for flying down to New Delhi. It's a very exciting time in AI. Just a while ago, I was in conversation with Arvind Srinivas of Perplexity, and he said he gets very little sleep these days because when he stops working and he's unwinding, he's still thinking about what is happening because the pace of disruption is just so much. So tell me how you are infusing AI in what you do. So for those who are not aware, Nothing is a smartphone brand. Akis was with OnePlus before he decided to build this completely new smartphone brand. And India is now the biggest market for Nothing. So that's amazing. And Levin Labs was the AI startup that worked on the Modi-Lex Fridman podcast recently. So, you saw PM Modi talking real time in English, content getting dubbed. That happened due to Levin Labs' AI effort. So huge round of applause for both of them. Akis, what's happening in the world of smartphones?
Yeah, I think AI brings quite an exciting opportunity to the table. I think for the longest period ever, there has been this kind of app-led user experience when it comes to our smartphone, and this hasn't really drastically changed in the last 10, 15 years. And on the other hand, our dependency on smartphones has drastically changed. We use smartphones for everything nowadays. And therefore, AI brings a whole new opportunity in terms of redefining that user experience. If you think about the app-led experience, it's very siloed in a way, where you need to kind of open different screens, menu, apps to kind of bring content or things you want to do. Whereas AI, if applied thoughtfully on top of this experience, you will be able to kind of be a connective tissue between your intent and action, right? Your smartphone understands probably more than yourself, and basically it will help facilitate a user experience that's a lot more intentional, more contextualized, and also a lot more dynamic. Because if you think about the current experience in consumer tech products, those are kind of system forced onto the user. Whereas now we have the opportunity to be building systems that adapt to the users, because the way you would use a smartphone is probably different the way I would use a smartphone or the content I would consume. So that's what we're kind of working on. That shift will be happening in the next probably 10 years and in a gradual way. But at the end of the day, drastically changing the whole smartphone user
So will we
experience.
be spending more time on smartphones than ever? I mean, smartphone addiction, screen addiction is already an issue. Is that only going to go up? Will we become slaves of the AI agents operating our smartphones?
If anything, I think our smartphone usage will become a lot more intentional, right? Because now you're using apps or services that have their own agendas, right? Whereas in the future with AI, basically it will be systems that will adapt to your user experience. Even on social media, for instance, you open your social media, you see everything except content from your maybe best friend, because she's not posting so much, and it doesn't come into the algorithm. But in the future, that content will be from your best friend or family member, will be able to kind of be brought up straight onto your maybe home screen without having to open an app. So you kind of keep in touch with people that you meant to be in touch with when you first started using social media. That's where things are heading. So agendas won't be pushed onto you, but the user experience will be a lot more personalized, a lot more dynamic, and hopefully a lot more intuitive and intentional. So hopefully you'll be spending less time, or at least the time you'll be spending will be a lot more productive on your smartphone.